Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and we are all about slaying and taming the joy-stealing dragons in your life. I got my really good friend from the left coast out there in San Fran area, Linda Shively, and she's an award-winning speaker presenting from places like Walmart all the way to Carnegie Hall. You have to check out her LinkedIn profile. You have to check out her website as well, which is fantastic. This woman is very, very credentialed. And Linda's been studying brain and mind function for over 30 years. And the little knowledge nugget podcast that I drop out about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming and whatnot, I cannot wait to dig in a little bit with my good friend Linda here. And, you know, after leaving her abusive marriage and 2 weeks later having her daughter pass away, she reinvented who she was. Now she helps others to do the same. So she's very much a reinvention architect. And I love that about Linda. And Linda, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Well, my favorite color is purple.
Really?
And yeah, that's why I'm wearing it today.
Oh, you are. And you got the purple flowers in the background. And
exactly.
I love it.
Purple.
It's royal and regal. Fits you perfectly. Shively is kind of like a royal name. I love it. I love it. So let's dig into a little bit about taming these dragons, Linda, and kind of give us maybe your story. Because I know my squad wants to hear it that's out there. And if you could kind of give the story and we'll break out the tissues if need be.
Thanks, Scott. Back in December of 2005, I had to make a really tough decision. I had to figure out how to escape an abusive marriage with my severely handicapped 3-year-old daughter, Jessica. Jessica was a bright-eyed, happy little girl. She had so much joy. She loved her friends at preschool. She loved reading. She loved playing with stickers and zooming around in her power chair because she had strength in her index finger to navigate that. And I say power chair, and you're like, wait, what? Well, she had a condition called spinal muscular atrophy. It's a progressive neuromuscular disorder that affected her ability to crawl, walk, swallow, and even breathe. But she loved life, and she didn't know anything was wrong with her and kept me going, even though her diagnosis was so challenging to receive. And she loved interacting with other people. She just had this joy that she would bring to the world. And I got so much joy from her. My marriage, on the other hand, keeps me on high alert. I never knew when he was going to explode. I never knew, what was going to happen. I thought, well, if I do what he wants, everything will be fine. But that didn't work.
Never does, right?
Never does. And I didn't know how to get out. I had this child that needed tremendous care. What was I going to do? Where was I going to go? How was I possibly going to do this on my own? One day, I made the decision. I told her nurse after we got home from preschool, I'm going to put Jessica down for a nap. You pack up her medical equipment. I'll pack her clothes and her toys. As soon as she wakes up, we're going to escape. After a flurry of activity, Jessica wakes up, we load the van, and we leave.
Okay.
Exactly 2 weeks later, 2 days after Christmas, I hold Jessica in my arms as she takes her last breath and dies.
I'm sorry.
And from that moment on, I struggled to see any kind of future for myself. I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And I finally realized there was one missing component, one missing key that I hadn't had. And when it's missing, just nothing seems to work. And that was joy. And when I had it, I loved it. Everything worked. Everything seemed to work.
Right.
And so that's why I talk about what you mentioned earlier, the joy-stealing dragons, because I realized that when people don't have joy, their life doesn't work. And when they have it, it can. And I'm not talking about, oh, plaster on a smile and everything is wonderful,
Sure, right.
fake, happiness, joy. I'm talking about that deep, true joy that underlies everything.
Right.
No matter what has happened, no matter what tragedies you've had, no matter what life experiences have happened to you, that joy can still be there. And
Right.
that's my story. That's my journey. That's why I talk about joy.
Do you think that you pulled, because Jessica was such a happy child, she didn't really realize, well, she maybe realized and understood her handicap at the time, but that strength that she had, do you think some of that kind of like immersed into you while you're building your joy?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And I think we fed off each other. I was happy being with her. She was happy being with me. And
Sure.
so and I know she still is with me. And so
Absolutely.
as I carry that, even though she's not physically present,
Sure.
she's here. And so my mission is to continue to share that joy.
Yes. Thank you. The joy that she showed everybody at preschool and zooming around in her chair and whatnot. So what was that switch then that kind of said, okay, I'm going to tame this dragon. I'm going to experience real joy in my life. And Squad, I'm so glad that she said real joy, because, I teach that you need to have power poses and smiling and stuff like that to help physiologically change you. But there's so many other aspects that go into real joy and real joy feeling. So what was that tipping point, to use Malcolm Gladwell here? What was the tipping point that said, listen, I'm going to take these strengths that Jessica passed on to me, and the strengths that I already had, and the resilience and the persistence that I have to help others?
I would love to say there was just one moment that poof, everything,
right.
But
never
life
is.
Life doesn't quite happen that
No.
way. The realization that a friend of mine, when Jessica was first diagnosed, she told me, she's like, you can't change what happens to you. You can only change how you deal with it. And I kept going back to that. And it's like, yeah, I can't change that she died. I can't change that she's not still on this planet. I can change how I approach it. I can change how I talk about her, how I share her. And I don't think I know anybody who doesn't know about Jessica. And if it is, it's because I just met them. And even that, they learn about her real quick, because it's so much of who I am and so much of what I can share and help people with.
Love it.
I think when I realized that sharing that joy gave me more joy, it's a win-win in that regard.
I love that. And how am I going to ask this? Like, is it fair to say that kind of what another way that you kind of said it is like, what's happened to you is not what's happening to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all about the meaning that we give to the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yes.
Because a story is just a story. Like, what happened? Okay. So something dropped, something broke, something, well, what's the meaning behind that? I don't know. Is it the heirloom that crashed and broke and you're sad because now you don't have that remembrance of, or is it, well, it broke and I had it while I had it and now it's gone.
Right.
And, I had a gratitude journal. So I'm all about gratitude.
Me too. Right there. Yeah.
And I had a backpack stolen out of my car. The gratitude journal was in the backpack. It was the gratitude journal I had started soon after Jessica died and had lasted for quite a while because it was a real thick one.
Sure.
And it was like, what's I'd done so much work and it was still upsetting to me. And I'm like, how do I grapple with what do I tell myself about this story? And it's like, well, I had said I was almost done with that journal. Well, I didn't realize what that meant.
Sure. Right.
And it's like, okay, it's
Right.
gone. What do I do with that?
Mm.
And I could have been miserable and woe is me that I lost it. Or it was like, now I can start a new journal. Now
Right.
that,
Thank you.
I can start from here
Right.
and move forward. And that piece, yes, I can't go back and revisit that, but it served its purpose.
Right.
And
And,
so anything that happens, it's like, what's the story that you tell yourself, and
and
how
the
do you,
meanings
and the
behind the
meaning.
stories. Right. Yeah. And we say with my clients, I'm basically regurgitating everything that I've been taught by just fantastic mentors and coaches. Is to overlap your happiness. Meaning, like, if you were to come here and I set up a speaking engagement, you're like, I'm going to see Fergie, and we're going to rock the stage, and I'm going to South Florida where it's warm and all this and that. And then, but that ends, like, you're going to get on a plane back, so, or anything that's bad happens to you is going to end. Everything's finite. So we teach, and what you're teaching, I'm just saying in a different way, is to overlap your happiness. Always have something that is going to give you joy and happiness. Whether I love complimenting people. That's to me. I'll say something. I know that when I light them up, it makes me light up, and that's the way. I love that you're kind of overlapping happiness and whatnot. So when you're coaching people and you bring them in, maybe for, we'll say, a discovery period, is there any secret sauce that you can share with us that you use, Linda, that maybe help them find their blind spot?
Great question. When someone is unaware of what's really going on, asking why that's happening, what's beneath that, and just continuing that process of why and layering that can sometimes illuminate it. Because usually the first response that 99% of people say is, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right.
It's like, well, if you did know, what would it be?
Right.
And just getting them to think about it again, and catching them and calling them out on it, saying, you probably do know. And it's like, oh yeah, well then, and then the story comes out.
Sure.
Of whatever.
You do that
happened.
by asking some awesome questions too.
Yeah.
Make them think and make them lofty. So while you're in the discovery, thinking about hiring, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Great question.
This is time to shine today, Shively.
What question? That would be a fabulous question.
Right.
What is it that what should I be asking you?
Right.
Probably the question to ask me would be, why is it so critical to get to that root cause?
Wow. What would your answer be, if you don't mind sharing?
Once you get to the root, then you can actually address that. And then that ripples to everything else.
Wow. So that root, once you get down and dig deep and to find that why, I heard you really digging for their why. Once they get to their roots, then you can start the game plan to level up. I love that, Linda. That's fantastic. So this is kind of a two-part question, but what are your strengths and how much do you appreciate them?
One of my strengths is the ability to hold space and really listen to people and get people to share what it is that is happening to them. Wow. I have had some amazing experiences with my clients that they get to places. Awesome. They get to places like, I've never told anyone this before.
Oh, that's the best.
I've never shared this.
Yeah.
And my ability to allow that. And so frequently we don't have people, or many of my clients don't have people that will actually listen, like really, really listen and get them.
Right.
Without judgment.
Right. How much do you appreciate that about yourself?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. How about your limitations? What limitations do you feel like you impose on yourself?
Oh, I'm one of my worst critics.
Okay. Okay.
Which is why I talk about the joy-stealing dragons, because they're the dragons that I need to continually tame for myself.
I love it. And it's funny is that they never fully go away. It's kind of like that movie where you see someone that's maybe you think had passed on and they come back in a different scene or on down the road, but just maybe even in a different form. Well, do you find that's a great question. Do you find it happening that the problems that you overcame with your joy and your protocol that you use to get there come back in different forms?
I love that you say that. I talk about it in several different ways. Either the layers of the onion, you know, where you peel off a layer and then there's another layer underneath, or as if you're going up a mountain. And so if the problem is on one side of the mountain, you keep going higher. So you might revisit the problem, but it's not at the same level. Right. You're at a different place.
You are.
So what I manage now, the challenges that I come up against now are very different than what they were years ago.
Right.
And it's like a higher level of, you know, it just shifts.
Sure. I love that you said shifts.
Because I've grown and I've, you know.
A lot of people say pivot nowadays. They're like, oh, I'm going to pivot. And I grew up with shift within my coaching business. I guess now I say shivit, right? It kind of helps out both of them, right?
Well, pivot has a different.
It does. I try to tell them that.
It's a different, like that's kind of completely changing where shifting is adjusting.
You lock your flow into a situation. Like when you say you're kind of going up that mountain, you're actually making progress. And you've got to adapt to different situations because winners adapt. They don't make excuses. And I love that. So have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the double deuce, the 20-year-old Linda. What kind of knowledge nuggets would you be dropping on the 22-year-old Linda to maybe help her shorten her learning curve, level up and blast through, maybe just a little bit quicker? I'm not saying making changes, but what you know now, what knowledge nuggets would you give her?
Trust your gut.
Thank you. Yeah,
that would be number one on the list.
Okay.
And what other knowledge nuggets? Believe in yourself.
Yes. And don't be afraid to ask.
And ask for help, you know.
Yeah.
Because all of it is, you know, get support. And I fully believe that everybody needs a coach, and coaches especially need coaches.
Oh yeah.
And it's
yes, thank you.
Or sometimes more than one for different aspects of life.
Exactly. And my squad knows that, you know, I have a mindset coach, I have a body coach, and then I also have a spiritual coach. You know, I'm a Christian, so I kind of go that route, but I don't care where anyone goes. Just give the creator their love and let them go with it. And I love that you said basically, which I have to make an introduction between you and my good friend Leah Woodford from Smart Femme. She's all ladies, and it's just an awesome company. And she told me before, said, get your asking gear. Don't be afraid. So like you said, trust your gut, believe in yourself, and get your asking gear. I love that. So how do you want your dash remembered, Linda? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date. How do you want Linda's dash remembered?
That I bring joy and compassion to the world.
Wow. You know what, though? I use a lot of sports metaphors. Like you're somebody that literally is going to slide across home plate, bumped and bruised, but you're going to score and you're going to help other people score as well. And I love that. You're such a go-giver. Oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. So what keeps you up at night, Linda?
Honestly, sometimes social media, which is bad.
Me too.
but
I invested in these things right here. If you're watching on YouTube, the blue blockers, and I get there too. So I do wear them at night. My lady makes sure I do.
But seriously, what keeps me up at night, if I'm not having a deep conversation with somebody, because those are what I really love, but things thinking about how I'm going to help people, how I'm going to improve, what I'm going to do. Like,
Love it.
I have that client in mind. It's like, what, I have a VIP day coming up with somebody, and it's like, what are we going to do? How am I going to make it even more special? I've been working with her, and it's like, just figuring out those nuggets, and how can I serve my community even more powerfully, and get my True Joy Life group even more value than they're already getting.
Beautiful.
And
love that. And so what do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
It depends on who it is.
Okay.
People that don't know me may think I'm shy.
Okay.
And people who know me know that I don't shut up.
So you're just shy of that getting on the bar.
I'm an introverted extrovert.
Love it.
And so, like, because I love speaking on stages, I love speaking to people. I share the information that I learn because I'm passionate about it. And when I get excited about things, I love to share it. When I'm getting to know somebody, I often will listen. And so I'll sit back and I'll just be quiet. And so people won't know, like, well, who is she?
Right.
And so
what if we take out of this equation your computer, tablet, cell phone, all those social media gadgets? If we take all those out, what are 3 things Linda can't live without?
My friends and family.
Connection. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, the basics of food and water and shelter.
Yeah, let's take those out of it too.
Taking those out.
You can leave chicken wings in. I'm a chicken wing snob.
Oh,
so
gosh,
I'm just
no.
kidding.
I get Hugs.
Yeah, love it. I think you should just say connection. That's beautiful.
It's pretty much connection.
It. Yeah, I love it. So then what is your definition of a life well lived?
A life well lived is a life where you are on purpose, doing things to help other people, and taking care of yourself.
I love it.
And I think that's the piece that a lot of people leave out, is they don't take care of themselves.
Right. And I love like Steve Farber, who's somebody that I admire a lot. He wrote the book Radical Leap and a couple of things. Great coach. He said, do what you love in the service of people that love what you do. People will know if you love what you do, period. But you do what you love in the service of others. I love that. And squad, we're going to take my good friend Linda Shively here through our leveling up lightning round just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. We are back with rock star coach, speaker, all around beautiful lady, Linda Shively. And Linda, you and I know could speak an hour on pretty much every single question I'm going to ask you, but you have 5 seconds to answer with no explanations. You ready to level up?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. She gave us a thumbs up if you're just listening. I love it. All right, Linda, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Trust your gut.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Gratitude.
Beautiful. Other than your website, lindashively.com, and also my site, timetoshinetoday.com, my shameless plug, what site does Linda go to level up?
TED.com.
Beautiful. If you see me walking down the street, man, the Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums, just not feeling it. What book are you handing me?
Ooh. I know this is a lightning round, but I don't know.
Beautiful. No worries. What's your most
I had a different book that I was going to talk about, but
what's your most commonly used emoji?
Oh, the smiley face.
Beautiful. And don't lie to me on this one, but if you could stay one age physically for the rest of your life, keep the knowledge you've garnered and continue to gain knowledge, what age physically would you stay for the rest of your life?
35.
Thank you for putting a 3 on that. I'll be 50 next week, and I would love to be 32 again. Love it. Nicknames growing up?
No nicknames.
No nicknames. Linda. What was your New Year's resolution?
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
Fair enough. Chess or checkers?
Chess.
Beautiful. Favorite charity and or organization like to give your time or money to?
Spinal Cure SMA.
Love it. Donnie, put that in the show notes.
Which
is that .org?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. And last question, you can elaborate on this one a little bit, Linda, but what is the best decade in music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
Thank you for saying that. Big hair, don't care. You and I have got to hang out sometime. We would have a blast. You know, we run so parallel. We just speak a different language. You know, it's like a different dialect. Same language, different dialect on things. It's just beautiful, beautiful. So, Linda, how can we find you?
The best way to find me is my website, lindashively.com.
Okay.
And Scott, I have a fabulous resource for people.
Love it. Let's hear it.
If they want to know which of the joy stealing dragons, we didn't really talk about them, but which of them is most active and what to do about them, to tame them, go to myjoydrivenlife.com/shine, and you'll get a quick quiz that you can take and get the results of those quizzes to figure out what to do about those dragons.
What are you seeing with the dragons? Which one, if you had to rank, which dragon steals the most joy? What do you think it is?
Overwhelmed Ophelia.
Okay. Talk about that.
Overwhelmed Ophelia keeps you constantly busy. She wants you to have your to-do list packed and your schedule packed and never get done the things that actually need to get done.
Right.
So you're always behind and always feeling like there's more to do. And she wants you to be busy as if it's like a badge of honor.
Right. Yeah. I was told that, you know, when you die, your inbox will not be empty, you know, at work, dude. So it's like, I make sure I prioritize everything and make as many people shine as I can. But I know that when I lay my head down, for the most part, I've did what I could, and I got to get that sleep. How do you prioritize sleep in your life?
Yesterday, I went to bed early.
Good.
Because I was tired.
Because you're coming on my show.
And I had a show. I had to get up early for this show.
Any good speaking engagements coming up?
Only my own within my community.
Okay.
Nothing outside of the community.
Talk about this community.
So it's a True Joy Life community. And if you can find it on Facebook. It's called True Joy. If you search for that, it's hot pink with all sorts of happy people.
Okay.
and look for it. I love having happy people. Well, people who are looking to have more joy in their life. They're wanting to tap into their true joy. And like I talked about, it's not so much the fake plaster on a smile, but that deep, true connection. And I occasionally will pop into that community and do hot seat coaching with people, or I'll throw in some tidbits that are interesting. And then for my paid clients, we have a private community where we meet on a regular basis, and they have access to a lot more information.
I love that you say laugh your way to joy. I laugh every morning. I do. I mean, I luckily have 2 rescue cats and a rescue pit bull that just give me reasons to. So it's a lot of fun. So leave us, if you don't mind, Linda, with one last knowledge nugget you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Do something for yourself today. And realize that if you're doubting yourself, if you're not feeling good enough, that you're not the only one, and to realize that you can shift that.
Yes. Thank you so much. And squad, I literally have 2 pages of notes just from talking, if you're watching on YouTube, just from talking to my good friend Linda, who, you know, her beautiful angel, Jessica, taught her so much in her short lifestyle, but she still, Linda, struggled to kind of see a future. And one thing that she noticed that was missing is joy, real joy, not the fake bullshit stuff that you plaster on and walk around and act, but really feeling the joy all the way through your bones. You know, she can tell you that you can choose what happens to you, but you can't always choose what happens to you, but how you deal with it. So what's happened to you isn't really what's happening to you. So sometimes we say, you know, I use the analogy a lot with that small rearview mirror. It's small for a reason. The dashboard's big. You can learn from that history, but it's not a place to really be lived in. All right, squad. She wants you to really overlap your joy, to find things daily, on the minute, on the second, if you can, that you're truly grateful for. Like my good friend Linda says, get a gratitude journal. Start utilizing it. And if you want to, go to her site and really check it out. I love that she puts on here, Laugh Your Way to Joy, the psychology of being stuck. She covers all those bases. You know, a great coach, Linda says, will help you find your why. And the why is critical to get you going and to really find those roots, because once you can find the root cause, you can start to attach joy, like she would say, to really blast through and tame those dragons. You know, her strength really is the ability to hold space and listen. She doesn't just listen with her ears. She listens with all her senses. And like we like to say, listen with our neck, that we're really into it and listening to her clients. And that's why they're successful as they go through her program. She wants you to trust your gut, believe in yourself, and get your asking gear. When you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask. She's going to be remembered as someone that brought joy and compassion. She lives on purpose in the service of others. And she wants you to do something special for yourself today. And remember, you're not alone. She has an awesome group on Facebook. We'll put it in the show notes. A True Joy. It's pink, and it's a lot of people are laughing. I'm literally looking at it right now when she had me, when she said I brought it up. So, Kathy, sorry about that. I'm lost my mic. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Linda, sorry about that. We're going to edit all that out, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. You've earned your varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. We love your guts. You level up your health. You level up your wealth, and we cannot wait to collaborate with you in the future. I have so many ideas.
I'm so excited. Thanks so much for having me, Scott.
Right. Bye now.